Cruz, and I love Molly Sleuth.
I am the eyes and ears of this institution.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Who knows? In 1,000 years, even you may be worth something.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Room for one more, honey.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door.
I think we live in overstimulated times.
Hi, hello, hi, hi. I already saw you in the chat, Ben. You were like, who's here? I'm like, not me. First of all, did you even see this situation? It's so awesome.
Were you gnawing on that?
No, it's just really like old, like me. Hi, happy Friday, everybody. So you'll notice we only have two. We're hoping to get a third. Ew, not like that. But Rosie is she is cutting down flock cameras, so she may not be able to join us. But if she cuts down enough flock cameras and meets her quota tonight, she will be joining us. But also, we may have a special guest, which we're both crossing our fingers because we like him. I am Molly Sleuth. I used to look like I didn't trust the government, and then I really didn't trust the government. That's my life story. And who is you?
Well, I'm Ben, and I also don't trust the government.
I only have one other picture to share today with my Amish screen sharing. And that is this picture, because tonight we're going to be talking about surveillance and about how Americans have already surrendered a lot of their privacy already. Does that mean that every new surveillance technology deserves acceptance? We'll see. As you guys know or don't know, I went to the Toledo Zoo a couple weeks ago. And so they had this whole exhibit. Now, these are taxidermied animals, not the ultra rare endangered species that are right there that you could throw pennies at. And this one in particular is a taxidermied Tasmanian devil, as you know, one of my favorite animals. But the weird thing is this whole room was all full of taxidermy, and they had these weird like retinal scanners or whatever the fuck they are, cameras of some kind that are watching you watch the dead animals. And it's so weird because that's just a dead animal. Like the worth of it isn't as much as the one that I'm sharing air with that's, you know, through a cage or whatnot. Let's see. Okay, sorry, my neighbor was messaging me. So at any rate, like, why is it recording me watching that stuff? I feel like we're going to get into the weeds of how much privacy that we've lost that you're not even really thinking about. And to me, the flock camera whole debate of like, oh my God, it's crazy, it's Big Brother. Like, you deal with Big Brother and low trust society taxes constantly. So I want to get into some of those because I feel like it's kind of like the AI thing. Like, nobody gave a shit when you were doing Photoshop. Nobody gave a shit when you were like, you know, making mustached bullshit through Snapchat. And now all of a sudden it's like one step further and everybody is clutching their pearls in horror. So I kind of know where you stand on it, but so I might take the opposing side just to have a little conversation. Plus I just you know.
A rat.
Yeah. So I guess maybe where we start is let's talk about like the Fourth Amendment. So I was a police officer for the Los Angeles Police Department for over a decade. And so the Fourth Amendment really is a lot of our bread and butter. And if you don't know the Fourth Amendment, then you could be sued or friendo so quickly. Hi, friend.
Hello.
Yay! You should put special motherfucking guest underneath your name.
No,
I'm glad that you're coming in right now that we're just talking about AI because you are our resident artiste. Rod, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Rod. I'm just trying to get all set up here.
Oh, okay. We'll ignore you for a second.
The volume's really low. I can barely hear you.
I can guarantee you it's not because I'm talking low.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Wheel. I don't know, but it could be your Pootor. And let me see what my neighbor wants. Because sometimes we share some serious, if you see any dragons or gnomes or anything that calls to you, send me photos, please. That's just the kind of typical text messagings that I get. Are you home by any chance? If I can grab it. Yes.
Yeah, if you can grab those gnomes.
At 10. Doing my show. Thanks for fucking bothering me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and let me make a note. This is the kind of quality you come here for. All right, so I kind of want to just start with the Fourth Amendment. So we'll start there because I think that sort of starts the whole conversation. Because I think there's a loophole, and let me get your take on it. So the Fourth Amendment is the right of the people to be secure in their persons. What the fuck? How did I deserve this? I'm gonna put my monster up because he's too cute. I'm just so afraid he's gonna break. Oh my god, he looks so cool there. All right, the right of the people. Does that mean I have to put my glasses on?
You can't read anyway.
Okay. In their persons, houses, papers, and effects, those 4 prongs, against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. I guess I should have gotten one of my warrants so you guys could see how a search warrant works. But those 4 prongs, so we've got persons, houses, papers, and effects. But I think this is sort of this gray area because now we want it to cover data, our image, our shopping habits, our location information, and it doesn't. It's very clear. Persons, houses, papers, and effects. I mean, you got to understand when the Fourth Amendment was written, we didn't have fucking Snapchat. That was probably a good thing. So can you let me know once you get it? I appreciate you. Yes, of course. And so that's kind of what we're talking about with these flock cameras is your information private? Is your face private? Is the fact that you're driving over to your Codex, that's the person that you're cheating with, that's LAPD talk for the person that you're screwing on the side of your relationship. Should that be information that could just be aggregated into one giant database for people to use for nefarious reasons? And I don't know. I mean, that would really take an act of changing the Constitution with another amendment or adding to this Fourth Amendment, because right now it's very clear it does not cover your data. So that's kind of a place where we're starting. Unless you guys read into it, your person, which is your body, I can't touch your body. There's some exceptions to it. We'll get into those. your house, your papers, and your effects, your car, that kind of stuff, your property, your backpack, whatever. Doesn't say shit about your data, your geotag, your shopping habits. And we're going to get into some of what we're already given over. Now, we should have a reasonable expectation of privacy. In other words, if you're jerking off on your lawn and somebody views it, like, that's kind of fair game. But if you're jerking off behind your hedge and they use a drone to get that footage, that is no longer considered a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in your house, yes, you should have every expectation of privacy. But when you're in public and people that can see you, there's no privacy in public.
Right. If you're next to me at the light and you're picking your nose and eating it, and I'm filming you and putting you on YouTube, it's kind of fair game.
Yeah.
Now, if you have tinted your windows or something, and I have somehow gotten around that, it could be argued. But the problem with it is that there are places that are publicly accessible where you still are considered private. And the Robert Durst murder trial was really based off of this reasonable expectation of privacy, because he admitted to multiple murders, while within a bathroom. Now, a bathroom should be considered a place where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. However, if you have 7 stalls and I'm in one of them making hellacious noises that you want to put on YouTube, like, that's fair game. You want to put a camera under the stall and catch my face while I'm making unreasonable noises, then that is off limits, and that would be a violation.
I feel like these are important too. Just for the pervs out there.
Know.
You want to skirt the line, but you don't want to cross it.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I don't know why Rod and I would be in the same bathroom, but hey, it's the 90s. Okay, let's talk about the exceptions to the Fourth Amendment. This is sort of just a little refresher to some peeps. Also, if you're a criminal, hey, Red Bike, that the police can violate your Fourth Amendment under really like 6 reasons, but there's a 7th that we can get into. So obviously consent. Hey, you look like a shitbag. Can I look in your backpack? For sure. You can totally look in my backpack. I give you consent. In fact, here it is. In fact, watch out. There's a bunch of dirty needles that are uncapped. That is part of, now you can search. Now, if I say you can look in the big pocket, but you can't look in the small pocket, you can make consent contingent. And I have pulled over many people and asked for consent because of one of the other ones, which is autos, where then I don't need consent. But you can say, you can get pulled over like, hey, do you mind if I take a look in your car to see if there's any, like, and they'll say the craziest shit to see if there's any like bombs or tanks or whatever in there. But they're looking for guns, drugs, and cash. And so if they say, I'm only looking for, I had a case where we had a guy steal a cash register from a business. And if I was to open that glove compartment, that would now be a violation, because it's not reasonable to assume that a cash register could fit in his glove compartment. But if I'm popping open the trunk and I'm looking in the back seat and there's a giant duffel bag, I could open that. But to open the glove compartment, then that would be unreasonable. But even with a vehicle, you could give partial consent. I consent for you to check my car, but I don't want you to open the glove compartment. Now, that's really going to only make the police look for one of the other prongs to get into that glove compartment, but you do have that right. Exigent circumstances is another one, and that would be like if you've got, I'll give you a case. I was working patrol with a brand new officer, and, you know, it's fun to work with new kids, and you're just like, hey, what do you like to get? Like, do you want to go try to find some dope, some guns, some gangsters? Like, what kind of stuff do you like? I like stolen cars, and I like dope. And so we were cruising around, and we see a group of like, maybe like 7 kids looking kind of, you know, shifty and aimless, standing on a street corner. and not the biggest deal in the world. So it's a good training exercise. Of course, you never know what's going to happen, but I know what happens when with humanity. And I knew that we were going to be running. So I told him, he was driving. I said, okay, have you ever done a door check? And he was like, what's that? I'm like, all right, roll up your window. He's like, why are we rolling up the window? Because we're about to be running. Like, what do you mean? Why are we going to be running? Like, okay, I want you to pull up to those kids real hot, and I want you to stop real hard, pop the doors. I need you to take the key out of the ignition and lock the door when we run. Where are we running? You'll see. Because it's that guilty knowledge that like, and the two that are guilty took off, and the other 5 stood there with their dick in their hand like, what's happening? Why? Guilty knowledge. So you've got 2 running northbound. We're running. The door's locked. So cool. They're not going to steal our car. And these kids are yanking on this door, and they get into a house. One of the kids was, I don't remember, but neither kid was white. I think one was Asian, and the other one was like super dark Middle Eastern. This blonde, me, except not the Chun-Li hairdo, this blonde lady comes up to the 2nd floor balcony and comes out, what's going on? Do you have any kids? No. And so that makes exigent circumstances. Who are these dirtbags? Why are they running in the house? Now, turns out, one, they had weed, so it was that guilty knowledge. So we're able to go into the house for exigent circumstances because, like, what the hell are they going to do to this poor lady that's up there? They don't belong in this house. She just said she doesn't have any kids. Well, she was lying because her kid's a dirtbag. And so she didn't want to tell us that she bought a kid because it's Beverly Hills, and that she's got a kid that doesn't look remotely like her, and that he probably is running into the house with his other dirtbag friend with a pocket full of drugs. Anyway, exigent circumstances is another exception to the 4th Amendment. Totally good. You've got a guy who grabs a lady to hold her hostage, and he goes into an apartment. I'm not calling a judge to get a search warrant signed. I'm going in. I'm busting that door down. That is exigent circumstances. Incident to arrest. So I'm not allowed to just walk down the street and go, hey, I wonder what's in your pockets. If you consent, I can. But then I have something to arrest you for because I saw you throw the rock through the window. Now I'm arresting you. I am allowed to go through your pockets because I'm booking you into a jail facility. So I need to know if you have any, knives or cigarettes or whatever that you can't have in the jail. Now that also will include the car that you're in. And it's also lunging distance. If I, kick open the door, or let's say somebody opens the door to a party, I'm looking for you, I ring the doorbell, somebody answers the door, and I see you, and I know you're my guy, I'm allowed to check you and the area surrounding you, and they call it lunging distance. I don't think there's like a specific amount of inches that you can lunge, but I'm allowed to check the seat cushion of the chair that you were in and all that stuff. Plain view, that one's pretty standard. So you're on your lawn doing some crazy shit. I don't need to get a warrant for shit I can see with my eyes, as long as I am legally there. I break into your house and then I see you, loading a machine gun, which is illegal in the state. Then it's called fruit of the poisonous tree. And then you wouldn't be able to. And then autos, and that's just because of the nature of like your house isn't going anywhere, but that car could be gone in a couple of minutes. So they've granted exception for autos. And then this is the one that we're really going to be talking about tonight, which is like the special needs. Like, well, it's a special need because you're at the airport. So of course you have to like let your whole bag get searched and like open up your shoes and spread your ass cheeks and like all the stuff they make us do. Or, the school lockers or a checkpoint. But I would really argue that kind of all of those still fall under consent because you don't have to fly through the airport. You could not fly. You could not go to a school that has a provision that if you come to the school that we get to look in your locker. And so a lot of our rights, our 4th Amendment, is there's like an automatic waiving of your search and seizure to be a part of average everyday lifestyle now. And part of that is these flock cameras. And then there's reasonable suspicion. Like if I am talking to you, like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? There's been a lot of car break-ins. You're not doing any of that shit again. You know what? Let me pat you down just for my safety. That's sort of been one. And then, of course, anything else you require a warrant for. But I've written a lot of warrants. I've written warrants for biological samples. I've written warrants for arrests, and I've written warrants for locations, data, all kinds of stuff. And so it's not that difficult to get a warrant if you have facts and evidence that somebody has committed a crime. I've never been turned down for a warrant, but then I don't ask for warrants for people that didn't commit crimes. So I guess that's helpful. So I don't know. Red bike, Pennsylvania.
You would not use Flock, is what you're saying.
So we'll get into Flock, but we use the ALPR, we use Palantir, we use CalGangs. I mean, there's so many databases of this aggregate information. Palantir maybe would be the best one to talk about tonight. If I'm trying to find Rod, because I know that he's getting into some shit and he's doing a bunch of drive-bys and whatnot, and he's pretty slippery, and we don't even know like where he lives. But Palantir would have every time his phone number gets in the database, every time his name is used in the database. And Palantir is sort of an aggregate. They're collecting all this information from all over the place. If Rod ordered a pizza using his phone number to go to his aunt's house, and he used the name Fuck You Molly as who ordered the pizza, like that's still part of that tree. It's hard to explain, but basically you could get information branching off of phone numbers, off of people, off of vehicles, and it's great information. If I pull over your car, but Rod is driving it, and you've got 3 other people in the car that somebody took down their information, then that is all aggregated, so that if I'm looking for a drive-by, that Rod is involved in, now I'm going to look at your car, because Rod's been in it before, and see where your car parks. And so then all of the information from the license plate readers is in there. So now I can see, well, you live in the shithole, so there's a lot of these license plate readers driving by your neighborhood over and over and over again. And I see that you never park in front of your own house. You always park 1 street west. And that would be something that I could see. And now I can send my undercovers to go see if the vehicle is there and to sit on it, waiting for you guys to come back to the car. Sounds like you were chasing Harold and Kumar. I think I was. Pennsylvania just got rid of the deputy game wardens. Now police need consent or a search warrant to search a car. Well, I mean, this is federal law. These exceptions to the Fourth Amendment are federally recognized. So now you could say, hey, as a department, we ain't doing exigent circumstances. You got a guy who kidnaps a lady, we're just going to let him stab her for a bit while we get a warrant. As a department, you could decide that. But the law says that you have an exception there with a vehicle. Now, if there's not a crime, if you're just deciding to like do a checkpoint for your own fucking fun, then maybe that would be problematic. But at LAX, I mean, I don't want to really give up too much security stuff, but we would have a checkpoint, and I would just send some people over to go get a secondary screening, and then you get to pop the trunk and look wherever you want and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, with the game wardens, aren't they just looking for like fish that are too big and stuff? Like, I just, where have we gotten to that somebody needs to measure your fucking fish? Just over it.
Well, they love to label this stuff as it's for your safety. We're doing this stuff for you guys because we want to keep you safe. But you know what would keep us safe? Keeping these people locked up. Once we get them and we lock them up, we keep them there. We don't keep letting them back out, you know?
Right. And so that's going to be the problem, is that this low trust society has been created by too many people breaking the rules. We've lost a lot of our morality. We've lost a lot of our ethics, and even stupid shit. Like now your library book has a due date. Why? Because some asshole made a free library and was like, I ain't returning none of this shit. And so now we have these rules all over the place that we never had before, because some a-hole like wasn't following societal norm or doing the right thing.
Yeah, we all get punished because these assholes can't control themselves. So the whole society has to be punished now.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I mean, I go to a grocery store that's not in the best area, and you cannot find a freaking shopping cart that has 4 working wheels on it. Why? Because it has that thing that clicks over and it grinds the wheels when somebody tries to push the cart to the bus stop. And so I guess they can grind it for so long, and then the cart gets put back into circulation. And now I'm going gung, 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 gung through the freaking grocery store because some a-hole had to try to like circumvent the security device on it. I'm over it. But we'll see. I mean, when I was an actor 100 years ago, music videos weren't covered under the union agreements, and that's how, like, if you did a commercial or a TV show or something, you get a $700 a day base rate, I think, at the time. But if you did a music video, they could pay you with a ham sandwich. Like, there was no union for that shit. If they wanted you to work 18 hours, if they wanted you to fucking do whatever, then they could. It wasn't covered at all by the union. And so what Screen Actors Guild was saying was like, we don't want you to do any music videos, like, or you're not going to be a union member. And first of all, fuck you, SAG, because like every other union, like I'm a bricklayer or something, I could call up and they'll try to like help me get a job. But like, it seemed like Screen Actors Guild was really the only union that was just preventing you from getting work. And like, if you're not Tom Cruise, like you got to do something. And if I want to be in a stupid music video in the background, like, that's my own personal shame, and you should just let me make that $250 a day. And it's not covered by the union. So that's kind of what this data is with the Fourth Amendment. So we'll see. I mean, SAG as a union decided to renegotiate everybody and say, no, music videos count. And I don't know what that did to people's day rate, because I was gone at that point. But okay, so I guess we'll talk about where we're already taking a hit, because like I just feel like it's not about flock cameras. I know everybody's like so upset about the flock cameras, but
It's just the flavor of the week.
yeah, I feel like, you know, obviously there's got to be like one straw that breaks the camel's back, but we've already had this stuff, and maybe people just weren't aware. We had something called an LPR, license plate reader, and not every LAPD vehicle was equipped with one. For me, like I would get to the kit room like real quick after roll call because I wanted a license plate reader. I love stolen cars. I love car pursuits. I love to give people the electric knee. I like putting my gun in people's faces and telling them alto, policia, manos arriba. So I had a really good time with stolen cars. So you would have a better chance of getting a stolen car if you had one of these license plate readers. But I will tell you, I was northbound Bundy at Santa Monica or Barrington, and we were making a eastbound turn, and the license plate reader hit, and boo, it comes up and it tells you stolen car. So, oh shit, I grabbed the microphone. 8 out of 12. Show me following a code 37 vehicle. Let me get a backup and airship and a supervisor. Oh yeah, we're gonna fucking, yeah, woo! It was so exciting. Everybody's coming. Like, you know, people are like throwing their fucking sandwich in the trash and being like, fuck yeah, we're gonna go help Molly. And as I'm verifying the plate, I realize it's a 5 and not an S. And so I have to get back over the radio and be like, cancel a pursuit for like wrong license plate, code 4, wrong vehicle. And then people were pissed at me because they were like,
Yeah, I just threw my sandwich in the trash.
I know. So I did learn a lot from that you need to verify the plate before you just start putting it out and getting people going your way. But also, if it really was a stolen car, then you need people to start getting there quickly. But the license plate readers, they're not infallible, and you need to verify them. I think I was just telling a story a week or two ago that I got a ticket in the mail for a red light camera, my license plate, but I have a California car, did at the time, and it was a Louisiana plate that ran through the fucking light. So, like, you know, as we know, computers are not as smart as us yet.
And the fact that it had the same dark license plate or whatever.
No, it was so weird because the plates did look a lot alike. That Louisiana plate and the California lipstick plate. It was both Dodge Challengers, maybe of the same year. I'm not even sure. Now, the guy blowing the light, first of all, it was Florida. I've never been to Florida in my life. But they're not going to, like, how do you prove that you've never been to Florida? How do I tell the state of Florida that's sending a ticket to the mail in California, hey, fuck you, pay this, or we're going to put points on your record? Which also I do think is a violation of your rights, because I could lend you the car. You can't put points on my record unless I blew the light, just because my car blew the light. So I am a real proponent for people's freedom, and also that you're innocent until proven guilty. I think that's like a big tenet of our whole thing that we're trying to do here in America. But yeah, I had to prove that wasn't me and that wasn't my car. It really sucked. Red Bike says game wardens don't need a warrant to look for poachers. We could tell them we suspected this guy was poaching, and he could make them open the trunk, and we find a couple kilos of coke. Well, so unfortunately, that is one of the exceptions, is probable cause. So if you're calling them and saying, hey, we saw this guy poaching and he stuck a big fish in his trunk, hurry up, go quick, then that does give the officer reasonable suspicion or probable cause to open the trunk. Now he sees that the guy is fishing. Now, if he sees the guy, 6 weeks later, you're not going to be opening that trunk. It's not reasonable to suspect that fish is still going to be in the trunk, or you'd smell it before you pulled them over.
God, I hope not.
So, yeah, I mean, we already have kind of zero privacy now. We've like surrendered our privacy years ago.
You see that thing? If you have one of these in your pocket, you have no privacy at all.
Yeah.
You volunteered for it.
For sure.
Indispensable part of your life now. You volunteered for it.
And you see like all these pop-ups that say like, will you share your location? No, I won't. So I had a list of a bunch of them just because I'm a rabble rouser, and I've been thinking about these for days.
It's not just the phones. It's every one of these smart devices. You buy a refrigerator, it's got the little smart device on it, and your smart meter in your home and your TV and everything. Everything that says smart, it's listening to you all the time.
And what's even scarier is like, okay, so maybe the fridge only knows that you're out of milk, but it actually knows a lot more than that. Because somebody works at the fridge company and they know that you never open the fridge on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
So they know where the fridge warranty is, and they know that you never open it Thursday nights. If they were residential burglars, it would be a pretty safe assumption to believe that your house is totally empty on Thursday nights. In fact, there was a case. The Los Angeles Times had hired some dirtbag, and he was going through people who say, I'm on vacation and I want to hold my paper. And this isn't even like, this is data mining of a totally different kind. Hold my paper. We're going to be out of town until next Tuesday. And he was using this list of people that were holding their paper to go break into houses.
Yeah.
And it took a while to realize every one of these victims on this list, because of course it's the Los Angeles Times, it's all over Los Angeles. It's not like he hit everybody on a street, before we realized that he was picking off of this list from the LA Times. And that's not, I can't say it because a lot of your things will go off the, hey, ALEXA or OKGOOGLE, these things listen to you all the time. It's not like they're just sitting there dormant. They're constantly listening, learning. And multiple times, that system has been used for homicide cases that they have inadvertently recorded the last screams of the victim as she says, no, Ben, no, please stop. So I guess it could be a good thing in that way. I mean, they did catch some bad guys, but yeah, you're right with the cell phones. And it's not just the GPS data, although you're giving your location constantly. It's a lot of these apps that ask for permission to open your camera, to listen in on your microphone. The GOOGLE and the ALEXA, they listen constantly, but it's not just them. It's like free tip calculators. And like at the beginning when you would have before the permissions even started, but you give a lot of permissions to shit like, oh, okay, I just want to use Facebook Marketplace so that I can sell, my spare bed. Oh, do you give permission for us to see your camera and for us to go into your gallery and see the pictures that you've taken? And you're just thinking like, yeah, I need to sell this bed. Of course you can see the picture that I take, but it's more than that. You're giving them like all this. In fact, the other day, I was on one of them. I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook, as Molly Sleuth. Add me, let's be friends. And it said, do you know this person? Now, I never allow those permissions, but somebody that has my phone number that I've had for a million years in their phone clearly has this permission. And now it's trying to say, hey, you should be friends with this person. And that happens to me a lot, but I never allow for my contacts to be looked at by anything. I never sign up for any of those store things so that they know what stores you go to, when you go, what do you buy, do you return anything, how much do you usually spend, do you spend more around the holidays?
That's a really good one to bring up is the store membership cards where they give you a discount, but they are selling all of your data.
That's the reason they give you the discount.
Yeah, they're building a profile on you.
Yeah. And a lot of them do. And so now you've got grocery stores and online stores that are having like surveillance pricing. They know that you are always going to buy that kind of laundry soap. So they don't need to give you a coupon for that. And what they're finding, and I don't know if it's Walmart, where they stopped having the price tag be visible. So you always buy X laundry soap, then when you go to buy it, they're going to charge you more for it. But I don't usually buy laundry soap from Walmart. I go get the stolen shit from the swap meet. So it's going to give me a lower price for the same fucking thing. It's charging you a higher price for it because they know they got you. That's your smell. That's the one that you want.
Well, it's been verified on Amazon too, that you can have two different people look at the same item and see different prices. And people will get like the discounts, or an item will be marked down for one person, and they'll say for the next 24 hours it's going to be marked down 15%, or the other people not. So they're already targeting you based on your browsing history, based on your purchasing habits, just trying to get a little bit more money out of you that way.
Interesting. I swear I'm a big proponent of eBay. I like to buy some bullshit, and I'll just look at something, and I believe it's eBay, but it could be other websites that I go to, and then all of a sudden I'll just get a notification like, are you sure you don't want that? You can have a discount on it. Like, I was just looking at it. And that's part of the problem of like our search history being part of this data collection. My dad, like 3 years ago, had an ingrown toenail. And so I was like on, trying to figure out what to tell him to do. I still get all the shit about ingrown toenails and don't you want this like fungus spray and all this stuff. And like, I do a good amount of searching for memes where I'm like looking for gay cowboys. And then it's like all of a sudden my feed is like full of bullshit. And I just wanted to send something stupid to one of my friends. And it hasn't quite caught up with that. But that's how you know that it really is mining all that stuff. My dad he has a Gmail and he sends me emails from it. And he'll make the subject line, you know, XCY, because he's like, oh, they read your email. Like, they read the whole email. Like, my dad will write me something about, like, oh, I was the fattest ant at the picnic or something. And then all of a sudden, I go on Temu or something, and now I'm being sold, like, ant spray and picnic baskets and shit. And it's like, oh, fuck. Like, they really have you. Deer, not fish. The fort was near hunting ground. Can you hide a deer in a trunk? I guess you can. Out of season, over limit, not a buck. But I see, those things are just walking around for free. And this is what I mean about this, like, tax, this low, whatever, society tax that we have, is that too many people were killing too many deer, and now we need permits, and now you need to, like, measure the antlers on this deer. And I'm in Michigan, and you could die from a deer hitting your car. They create catastrophic damage to your car, cost thousands of dollars. It could cost your life. And when you have that dead deer on the side of the road and you're all fucked up, and now this is going to cost you thousands of dollars, and maybe your family could recoup a little bit of that if you could eat that fucking deer that just ran into the side of your car. Michigan says, no, you are not going to benefit from hitting this deer. You can call a church organization over and they could get the deer. Somebody else can come get the deer, a charity, and you can donate the deer, but you're not allowed to benefit from it. And you have like thousands of dollars damage to your fucking windshield, which is just stupid. Like,
Scratch.
Find me the person that's like, I am going to risk my life to run into this deer. Like, you can't even avoid them. How are you going to intentionally hit one? Pisses me off. But yeah, but with the shopping, it's not even just they know what you've bought. They know what your mouse has hovered over. And this is why, like, on Temu, like, I see some depraved shit, and I love to send it to you guys. But now I just, like, screenshot it. I don't want to click on it because then I'm going to get more gay cowboys. So I'll just, like, screenshot. But even they know that. They know your mouse movements. They know what's been put in the shopping cart, what was taken out of the shopping cart to save for later, what you viewed and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was on Home Depot the other day looking at something. And then, like, the next day, I get an email saying, hey, we saw you looking at this, and, you know, you sure you don't want to come back and check? I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
If I wanted to buy it, I would have bought it. And what are you doing? They're just watching all the time, everything we do.
They do. And yet people, I mean, I know when I go to a place and they're like, can I get your phone number for your rewards? I'm like, you might as well try my mom's phone number because she signs up for everything on earth. Oh, yep, there you are. Did you want to use your points today? Nope, just add them to her points. Thanks.
Yeah, this guy that I follow on TikTok, he wanted me to come join his Discord server. So I was like, all right, whatever. You know, it's an art deal. He's got a lot of people on there. So I went there to log in, and everything was going fine, but it wouldn't let me go all the way because it wanted my phone number. I'm like, I'm not giving you my phone number. All these social media sites, they're just mining your data, and and you have to consent to everything, or else you can't be on the platform.
Totally. One of my big peeves, just because I did it today, when I go to pay my cell phone bill, even though I have my password, it still needs to verify me by sending me the 6-digit code so I can pay my bill. If some motherfucker wants to pay my bill, let them pay my bill. I'm so sick of getting sent these like 6-digit codes. I've got like 128 unread messages on my text message right now because of all these stupid things to verify you. I'm over it. Credit cards do the same. In fact, I think a lot of credit cards will give you like your monthly budget. Like last month, you spent 14% on entertainment and 62% on food and drink and all this stuff. Like they are watching what you're buying. And in fact, during the whole truckers thing during COVID, they were zapping people that had spent their money for t-shirts for the truckers. And I know my sister was at January 6th, although she didn't go to the Capitol. She was in the area, and they were getting people's credit card information for who was in the area at the time of January 6th. And like, what if you're just some like random schmo that was like driving around and you're like, babe, stop here, I want to get a bagel. And like, you didn't have anything to do with going into the Capitol.
Yeah, a lot of people were just there. They never went inside, but they're on a list somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. And then with their phones, like people that do the fingerprint, like turn it on with your fingerprint and turn it on with like facial recognition.
Yeah.
And you see all these like biometric data things where you join it and then it asks you to like turn your head and like, you know, take off your glasses and close your mouth and don't smile. And it's like, why are we consenting to this shit? And it's all under consent. You give up that information. What else is it going to do with that fingerprint? And like, who's going to hack that database?
What about when you go to the airport and you got to go through the full body scanner and you got to look through, put your eye, they ain't doing that shit.
I think they're deleting those images. They're not deleting that.
Well, and that's like with Snapchat is like they tell you that it lasts only a couple of minutes, but I could tell you I've written warrants to Snapchat. They last forever. It just, you don't see it, but it doesn't mean it's not in the back end.
Yeah.
And conversations, photos, jerk off videos, trust me, I've seen it. And so that's part of it, is this retention of like how long, like, okay, if I give consent, but I say, well, with retention, I only want you to be able to access it for a week or 10 years. Then you have to trust that they are actually going to retain it for only that amount of time. And, you know, they can tell the user a whole lot of things, but I don't know that I believe them because I've worked with these companies. So I remember when I was going through the homicide school for LAPD, and they told us the free tip calculator, all these apps, even just the phone. This is before, you know, Google got so interested in selling your data and making money that way. I mean, nothing is free. They give you Gmail for free, and they're storing your baby shower photos from, you know, 1992 for free. It ain't free. Like, they are selling your data. You are the product. So these apps, we were taught in homicide school that if you're talking about a serious case, leave your radio, leave all your equipment, leave your cell phones in the car, and go walk a couple hundred feet before you go talk to your partner about the case, because they're all listening to you. And at that time, we thought everything was Russian spyware, Chinese spyware, but you got a lot of American spyware too. And now you've got these VPNs that supposedly nobody's going to know where you're at. Your information is totally secret. But there's a specific foreign country that owns most of these VPNs. So now it's just your information is stored by a foreign company that doesn't fucking like you very much. Just spoiler alert. So I don't know. It's a thing.
I mean, to think about like where all of this metadata is going. It's not just to like, you know, companies not buying your information to try and sell you pretzels. Someone is collecting all of this on a very large scale to the point where you have so much data on every individual that you can make predictive programming of how someone is going to react, like an individual is going to react, how a group of people are going to react. And that's where it starts getting really scary, because it's not just selling you products anymore, it's engineering society.
Sorry, I just saw Ghost Pepper and Rosie Rose over on Pilled. And Ghost Pepper put a cute ghost, and Rosie put the most unspeakable sticker that I could have uploaded to Pilled. I'm sorry for everybody that has to view it, but it's delicious, and thank you for that. Yeah, there's definitely different ways that it could be used. I mean, the vast majority of people are good people, so, you know, do we care that your fitness tracker tells on you when you wake up at 3 a.m. and have a quick FAP session? You know, maybe you don't, but that information is all able to be aggregated so that they can create, like with Palantir, a real look at who you are and what you do. And obviously that information is going to be used right now. We're like, oh, well, they're just sending you picnic baskets and ant spray, but they're all trying to figure out a way to manipulate you so it benefits them, to make money off of you.
I was on these, the job sites 25 years ago. And back then, was it 25? Maybe it's longer than that. Back then I was working in machine shops. So my whole resume was all about being a machinist and programming machines and all this kind of stuff. But I deleted all of those accounts like at least 20 years ago. I went through and I took all my information off of them. Lately, I've been getting these emails. Hey, I work for, this recruiter and we think you're a great fit for this CNC machining job. And I'm like, where did you get my information from? I don't know and it's happened at least 2 or 3 times in the last month. I'm getting these emails about these aerospace jobs and machining jobs. And I'm like, where are they getting my information from? Because it's not up anywhere anymore. It's been down for 20 years. So it's still there somewhere. Somebody's buying my information somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, and we're not even really talking about dark web shit, but there's a lot of information people buy and sell, social security numbers, credit card numbers, all that kind of stuff online. But, even the Roombas have the ability to give the entire layout of your house, where your furniture is, and what has changed since the last time it vacuumed. And it's, I guess I just think it's like funny that people are so freaked out over flock cameras getting your car in public that you parked in front of the grocery store, and you don't have any problem with having a smart thermostat that tells everybody when you've walked by it, because a lot of them are motion activated, and what you've set it to, because those things you can say when you're home, the home hours that you want it to be at that temperature, and when you're away and it can not work as hard. And you just get like one burglar or one hacker that's a burglar, and that information by your thermostat is when they could break in knowing that you're not home or knowing that you are home. And both of them are really concerning.
And nobody seems to be concerned about the Ring doorbell cams, or when you go to the post office and there's cameras all over inside there. Any department store you go to, there's cameras all over. There are cameras literally everywhere.
Yeah.
But now, the flock cameras, that's the big deal. That's what we got to be concerned about. No, dude, there's been cameras everywhere for years.
So
I think that kind of shows that it's sort of it's a psyop in a way, because we're focusing on this one thing and ignoring everything else. Like, who's pushing this story right now?
Right. If we want to, be the old man shaking our fists at the cloud, like, I think there's a bunch of other things that we need to pay attention to.
You gotta shake your fist at every cloud and not just the one cloud that's over you at the exact moment that you decide to shake your fist.
Yeah. Today I was at Lowe's and I bought a couple of tubes of bullshit, caulking stuff. And because I don't have my own caulk, I have to supplement. But anyway, and I got some of the free paint chips, because God knows I can't stop. I've got to I'm like the Winchester lady, got to keep working on my house. And I had put the paint chips in the bag, they're free, and then I scanned my 2 tubes of bullshit. And then, like, you have to have the guy come over and he has to look in the bag, and he's spending all his time like punching in his code to tell him that it's okay that I have the paint chips. Because the thing is, like, are you sure that you scanned everything in your bag? Like, burp, 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 alert, fucking thief. And like, this happens to me all the time. You go to the grocery store and it's like, I use my own bags. And so then it says, like, take your shit off the bag thing. Like, you've put too much weight on there before you've scanned anything. Like, these are my bags. You have to constantly have somebody come over and punch in their code and say, it's okay. And I'm just sick of being treated like a thief. Like, if I was going to steal, I would have stolen down in the aisle where nobody was helping me when I was looking for what I needed. Not in front of the cash register where you have a retinal scanner and an anal thermometer for me to check out. It's just annoying that we're all getting treated like thieves because of the small amount of thieves that are out there. And you're right, with the Ring doorbells, like that's great that you have images of whatever you need, like, oh, who's at my door, or, you know, who stole all the Halloween candy last night when I specifically put a sign out that says take one. But if it can be hacked, and if police can just log in and use it, now you have to trust the whole world that can see your seemingly private information. And I think that's where it gets into access of like who gets to see this information that you have agreed to. Even like, I don't know if your car insurance does it, but I think Progressive gives you some stupid thing that you have to put into your car so that it knows when you brake. I had Progressive for about an hour and a half, and I got it during something called a polar vortex, basically a two-wheel drive sports car from California sliding around on the ice, and Progressive were not friends because you had to take like a running start to get in and slide, like drift into my old driveway. And Progressive didn't like that very much. I'm like, come over and I'll show you what the fuck I'm doing. Like, otherwise I just stop in the middle of the road and get hit. And then there's an insurance claim. Like, I'm doing the safe thing here. But car insurance, OnStar, they know when you brake, they know when you gas, they have GPS, some of them, to know where you're at. And a lot of times these insurance companies now want to put something on your phone, and it knows based off how your phone is being held if you're the passenger or the driver, and it'll dock you for that. Or you can join like a raffle. I think Farmers Insurance does it, where like once a month you all compete to get $100 off of your premium or whatever, if you've been a good girl and you haven't touched your phone as your vehicle is in motion. But like, if I'm in the passenger seat, I should be able to, you know, swipe away. So then it thinks that you're driving. You have to go in and tell it I was the passenger, or that wasn't a car, or whatnot. And it's just, it's too much to get a discount. Like, what you're saying is you're punishing all of us, and then maybe you'll give a little kickback to somebody who really is a good boy and like lets you crawl up their ass and get their data.
Yeah,
here's a
I
cookie.
didn't want to do that little device in my car because people drive like assholes. And if somebody cuts me off, I have to slam my brakes. Uh-oh, you're getting dinged for that one. That wasn't my fault. Oh,
Right.
Stop short. So I just
Right.
said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and also I will say it makes some people a worse driver, because now you're like, I don't want to hit the gas, I don't want to hit the brake too much. So you have more of a chance of hitting the car in front of you because you're more conscientious of this stupid thing dinging you for hitting the brakes hard so that you stop before you hit this car. And my friend Claudia, she had one of the first iterations of the Prius, and there was like a gauge on it or some kind of display where it would tell you if you were like in the eco mode, if you were like saving a lot of gas. And so she'd be going 35 on the motherfucking freeway, and people are honking at us and going around us. But she's like, I'm in the eco zone. Like, fuck you, you're on the freeway. Like, go. And it's like, for Prius to be telling you that 35 is the optimum range, like, you're on the freeway, Prius, fuck off. Like, you're creating such a safety issue right now. And then you've got people going, whoa, to like go around. Now all these other people are using more gas to like do their little exhibition of speed around you. And but yeah, I was like, they need to take that away from you. You're not allowed to like know when you're in the eco mode. That's not good for anybody on the road. But even GPS, like, so it knows where you are. A lot of people have it saved, like go home or go to work. It knows which way you normally go. It knows if you're going to that place, which route you'll probably take. Now, I'm not on any hit lists that I know of, but like that would be really problematic if you're trying to like lay low and not have people know where you are. Even when I'm going someplace that I haven't been before, I'll sometimes search a place that's in the area and be like, I can get myself the rest of the way. Or I'll search in trying to get home. I'll search a landmark that like I've got it from there. Just get me on the right freeway and then I'm good. But when you search your house, and I don't think I ever really search my house because I don't want it to be that automatic landmark in my data of like, oh, this is where she's going. Now, when I show up here, I have my location turned on so that I can use GPS. So Google knows where the fuck I am all the time. But I feel like that might help a little bit, but who knows? But they do know that, in fact, there was this walking app. I think we talked about it. And the walking app, you can like earn rewards and they mail you medals. I forgot what the stupid walking app was called. But you earn medals based off of these walking challenges, like Duolingo, but for like exercise. And so you like earn these stupid things. You guys both know how much we all three hate freaking Duolingo. And yet Rod is the only one that like is able to stay away.
Broke free of the matrix.
Ben and I every night, did you do your Duolingo? Like, no.
Must appease the owl.
Fuck, the owl's after me. It turned red. It says, "Are you there?" But this walking app, it knows where you live because it's mailing you these medals. It knows when you walk. It knows how far you walk. And like, who owns this walking app company? Is it nefarious? Could these be burglars or car thieves or whatever that know when you have left your house? Like, oh shit, he's using the walking app. All right, let's go. We know we can get him. If we give him like an extra 40 points, we can get him to walk an extra half a mile. That gives us 5 more minutes in the house, or whatever the case is. And I think people just don't understand that, like, right now we're at this point where we should trust everyone. There's definitely people not to trust, and you're giving information just willy-nilly, and you really don't know if these people are hiring. I mean, the Los Angeles Police Federal Credit Union, the bank for LAPD cops, hired the girlfriend of some gangster, and she was forking over to the gang officers' residential addresses so that they could go break in, because cops usually have guns. Guys, let's go. Thanks, babe. Thanks for all the addresses. It's just, you don't like, I think the whole problem is that people have gotten a lot less trustworthy. And that's really like it. All the surveillance in the world, all the data in the world isn't going to fix that. But I think if we all walk around knowing that everybody's an asshole. OnStar, invite Big Brother for a ride along. I don't know what that means. I've never had OnStar. I drive a piece of shit with a check engine.
Speaking of walking, I went for a walk last week. And I know this is like a big conspiracy theory thing where like people think birds aren't real, but I was walking down the street and I see up on the fence, I see this bird sitting on the fence, and I'm looking at it as I'm getting closer and closer, and it's not moving. It's just sitting there, just like totally perfectly still, not moving its head, nothing. I get closer and closer, and I finally stopped and I'm just staring at it, and it's just sitting there. Like, I don't know what kind of bird's, like a pigeon or something, but it just didn't move. And I see it too when I'm driving down the street. I'll look up on the light post and I'll see birds sitting up there, and they're just like sitting there, just totally stiff. So I don't know. It's
just a
a weird
CIA
thing.
officer keeping up with you.
I mean, I've had pet birds. They're not all fake.
Yeah, I mean, I've had pet birds too. But I mean, the birds I see around here, sometimes I have to question, it's like, are birds fake? Oh, no.
I will not allow you to go down that rabbit hole.
But do you guys remember that game that was around a few years ago, the Pokemon Go, that would use your phone? So I think that turned out that they were just like mapping sidewalks.
Yeah, it was a big scam.
Cities, yeah. And of course,
I mean,
they
it's not
sell it
like
to you as a
that.
game.
They turned it into something fun, and they just had you do it for free. They had you use it for free. I mean, it's just like when Google started Gmail, like it was beta testing. And so I've been in it since beta testing, and they found a way to use that information to make money. And so
remember when Facebook came around, they were only had it for the Ivy League schools to try and create like this whole exclusive thing. Then they rolled it out to colleges, to like every college, to try and get more people. Then they rolled it out to the general public. So like they're creating this whole thing of, oh, you get to be an exclusive member of this super duper social media thing, and now everyone has it, and it's like they have to give you that little dopamine hit to get you to be part of their program.
Yeah, well, same with like the Fitbit, where you like earn points and stuff, and then it wants to know what your pulse is and when you're sleeping, and like that's all information.
What do you
Even
think
like
about the government?
even Ticketmaster, they no longer allow like printed tickets anymore. You have to have your phone at the club. Like, I don't want my phone at the concert. I don't want to get crushed. I don't want to get it stolen. I don't want to have to fucking pay attention to it. I just want to dance. I want to watch a band. I want to hand somebody a piece of paper and walk the fuck in. And now it's got this like scrambled thing and you have to like put it up. But then they have your GPS. They know that you're there. They've had it scanned, whatever. And I mean, that's just a lot of information for Ticketmaster to have. And you talk about these like geofencing, that certain groups are geofencing certain people. And like, when is Ticketmaster going to start using that? I wondered what you guys thought about police officer body worn video, though, if you think that that's an invasion.
No, I don't think it's an invasion because, like I said before, when you're in public, you have no expectation of privacy. So if they've got their body cams on and you're out in public, I could film them too.
Well, so the body worn is going to be on when a call is generated. So your wife is beating you and chokes you with your own socks. And we come into your house and you're crying and she's like, that's what he gets. Like, that is all part of the video. And it is uploaded to a cloud through Axon, or Axon's the big one. And so then you've got to wonder again with the access and retention is like, who gets to see you crying on your couch? Because that information is uploaded to a server.
Yeah, and the other problem I have with that is a lot of times cops will mute it or they'll just turn it off. And I have a big problem with that. If it's supposed to be on all the time, then it should be on all the time because they got to be held accountable too.
Yeah, it's not on all the time. If we're walking by each other on the street and I go, good morning, and you go, good morning. Hey, can I ask you a question? Now I'm probably going to turn it on if I think that it's some kind of encounter. But definitely, if I see a violation and I am going to detain you, for sure it's got to be on. And, maybe other departments have other, things. For me, if it's got a 12-hour battery, just like film me from roll call. I don't like, it was so annoying. And it's just one more thing when you're thinking about unassing the car and making sure you take the keys out and locking the door so you can run. It's just one more thing you have to think about is, did I turn my stupid thing on? Because you're going to ding me and I'm going to take days if I didn't turn on my camera. But like at that point I was running. That was like the last thing is like, oh, somebody needs to see me running. Like, I'm shooting back. Chill out for a second. And some of them do have, when you flip the light bar on, it will automatically turn on your camera and everybody around you. And there was a lot of pranks that we would play on people where you'd flip light bars around other people and drive off. And but with the body worn video, it's part of that low trust society thing where it's like, because there's so many liars, at least the police can prove what I said during the traffic stop is really what happened, because here's the video. Because I know you're going to say, that I, fisted you and stole $100 from your sock, when really I said, sir, slow down, have a good day. So I think that's why they really primarily went to the body worn video, is because of complaints and transparency and the whole like defund the police. Like, okay, well, you want to defund us and you want to hate us, we need some more money for these body worn cameras. What do you
From
guys
what I
think?
understand, like back in the old days, cops were kind of a lot more hands-on with people. And so these body cameras they know that they're on camera, so they're like less likely to like manhandle you,
That's possible. But also you're having more cops injured now because of that, like hands off, kinder, gentler.
Well, especially with shootings now, we're seeing that it's like, before it would just be this person was unarmed and they were just gunned down by a cop for no reason. And now we're seeing on the videos, oh, they had a knife and they were charging at him, or they had whatever and they were charging at him. So
he
I think
pulled
there's a
his
benefit
cell phone out intentionally, like he was going for a gun.
Yeah.
And of course, the truth is best. But I wonder at what point civilians are going to be using these body-worn cameras when they go on their interactions, because you've got people that are already putting these like cameras into their vehicles, you know, they front and rear facing vehicle, whatever, dash cams they call them.
Well, you know that they've got the Meta glasses now where you can just walk around just filming everything as you.
They keep trying to push those. It's like Meta and Google both have them. They're like, these are super cool, guys. You got to give them a try. Just keep fucking trying until they're all wearing them.
Yeah, I was undercover and I had some glasses that would record, and they had just like a little plug-in, and the battery didn't last very long and the video didn't last very long. But boy, did I think I was like super cool. And then I had a pen that was about as big as that would sit like in your pocket and you could turn the pen on. Also for some surreptitious recording, although that was before body-worn video. Yeah. But you know, the body-worn video, it does beep every so often to let you know that it's recording. But I got to tell you, when you're like sneaking around a house looking for somebody or setting up to go hit a house for a warrant or something, and it's going beep, like it's broadcasting your location to every shit bag within like 100 feet, which I was not a fan of. What do you guys think about the First Amendment auditors, though, that go around and just record everyone? Do you think that you have a reasonable expectation of privacy if you're reading a book in the library, which is a publicly accessible place?
Like, what kind of invasion are we talking about here?
Well, so like the First Amendment auditors, they primarily go and try to start shit at police stations, but I had them come into the fire department where I work too, and like they're always like in your face with it. Like, bro, I don't care. You're only allowed to be where you're publicly allowed to be. But I mean, they really push it. If
there's only a couple of them that I watch, because a lot of them are like that, where they're trying to really get you to do something. But the ones that I watch, they'll just stand there and film. They're not doing nothing. They're not talking to anybody. They're just filming, and people get just outraged over it.
Yeah.
And they're really not doing anything, just standing on a corner or standing on the sidewalk, just filming cars going by, and people just attack them.
No, they don't. They're really adversarial. Like,
yeah, I know.
I've had many of these stupid ones. And then, in fact, they would try to fly drones over the Hollywood LAPD station to try to get our private license plate numbers. Now, I mean, you're just like flock cameraing because our cars are parked in a protected lot for a reason. We got guns in the car, you know, and we don't want our shit vandalized. I've had my car keyed from end to end, although I know who did that, and I will keep her name nameless. But with the First Amendment auditors, like they're trying to get more. They are trying to goat you. Like, it's sad. They should, you know, have girlfriends and have better things to do with their lives, but they don't. But if the bathroom door opens and there's one guy at the urinal with his dick out, like, they are in a public space and the door opened, but that's still, like, you're still not, they would just try to do shit. And the last auditing that I had, the guy was just a dick. And I was like, well, do you have kids? Do you want some stickers or a fire hat maybe to take home with you? Like, nobody's ever been nice to me. Like, because I don't really give a shit about you and your stupid video. But then he goes into the library and he's filming people. Now, a library is a public place, but it's also a place where like people go and hide out when they're not at the women's shelter. And now you're broadcasting other people's location on your stupid YouTube channel, and it's some lady who's been like beaten by her husband and she's just like hiding at the library for the day, and you're like putting it out there. I don't think that everybody's shit should be public like that.
I don't like it when they do stuff like when they go to the DMV or when they go to the bank or places like that where people are dealing with sensitive material, and then they'll claim like, oh, well, it's your responsibility to keep that private. It's like, well, yeah, but we're doing an interaction here. We're passing paperwork back and forth, and you're standing right there with your camera. I mean, you can clearly see it. I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but clearly you could do something with it if you put it on YouTube. And now everybody just saw it. So yeah, some situations I just don't. I understand, you know, it's our right to do that, and we need to exercise our rights and stuff like that. But have a little discretion, I guess.
But even the people who do it at the gym, like, what if you're at the gym and you're on workers' comp for a knee injury, and there you are on the treadmill or something, but like some, gym bunny wants to, bend over and show her ass crack for her YouTube following, and there you are in the background.
Is the gym considered a public place? Because a lot of them are privately owned, right?
Well,
unless you're talking about like a Gold's Gym or something, maybe that's public. I don't know.
Well, they're publicly accessible, so I could go into any gym and just be like, "Hey, could I come work out here for today?" Oh, it's $10. Like, and if they're a private club, then maybe they would have something against that. But you see, like, on the dating apps, you see so many gym selfies, so you can't tell me that people aren't taking images while they're in there. And you see people like in the bathroom taking so many pictures in public bathrooms, and like, there's like somebody farting 5 feet from there. Like, I don't need to see the paper towel dispenser. Like, go out, make some friends.
Yeah, I belonged to a gym a long time ago, and there were a lot of people that would come in there, and they were all decked out in their leotards and all their workout gear, and they would just hang out and talk. It was like their little social club, and they wouldn't lift one weight, and then after an hour or whatever, they just leave, or maybe they'd hang out there the whole day, but they never lifted any weights. It was just like, go hang out at the gym. But yeah, I mean, as far as going in there with cameras and stuff, that's kind of like, it's kind of a private thing when you're there to work out and you're doing your own thing and you just want to be left alone. You don't want to talk to people. You just want to do your workout. And then some assholes over there you're in the background of his selfies and shit. I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people just have phones everywhere we go. I mean, even if you're at a restaurant, there's probably somebody taking a picture of their meal. Are you in the background? My friend came over yesterday and we were doing these like stupid diamond art like things. We found a Creature from the Black Lagoon diamond art. It's so stupid. And I'm having fun with it. But my friend like just posted a bunch of pictures, and she did ask me, and I was like, I don't really care. But I'm in the background of her, all of her Facebook shit about how she's doing her diamond art. But we just, you're giving up your privacy all over the place. I don't know if flock cameras are like the hill to die on. I mean, your work drug tests you, and they have cameras in the hallways, and they do keystroke loggers, and like you can't put any software on the work computer without their knowledge and stuff. And so I just feel like we already don't have any privacy, like, at all.
If the story could be used as like, something to open the door to the conversation that needs to be had, that would be great. But people are going to talk about it for a week, and then a new story is going to come along, and they'll forget about it. They'll move on to the next thing. Meanwhile, we just have another layer of surveillance installed. So it never really gets better.
So do you think then ignore all the other billion ways that we allow them to crawl up our ass and just take a stand on flock cameras? No flock cameras?
No, I'm saying if the conversation was, we're going to look at flock cameras and then we're going to say, okay, this is one problem and here's all the other problems that we need to deal with, that would be great. But we're not. We're only focusing on flock. We're ignoring everything else.
Right, and that's why I just gave you 37,000 examples of like the other stuff that you should be clutching your pearls over, because.
And we're not, because it's just the story of the week.
Right, it is. And it always takes like one stupid bad apple. One person commits credit card fraud. Now we all get a notification, and they won't let us buy gas if we travel too far from our home, and all this low trust crap. And somebody steals some shit from a store, so now we all have to be on the surveillance camera and get the guy to come over and go, it's okay for her to use her own bags. And people steal cars, so now they all have these immobilizers that are supposedly going to come into play. And
well, going back to the auditors for a second, a lot of times when they get confronted by somebody in public, and the auditor will tell them, well, are you concerned about the 9 cameras on the Tesla that's driving around photographing you all the time? Are you concerned about with the cameras all up and down the street, on the building, blah, blah, blah? And they'll always say either, well, they'll say, I don't care about those, or those are different because they're for security, or It's like that's the only camera that matters is the one that the guy's holding in his hand right there. They don't care about any of the others. It's wild to me.
Well, any camera can be for security. Any camera could solve a murder, really. And
that's what they'll tell them. They'll say, well, this camera's right here is for my security. And then they'll typically laugh at him or something like, oh, your security. It's like, yeah, you're being aggressive, so I'm photographing you right now.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's, besides the First Amendment auditors that are always just trying to rabble-rouse, I don't think anybody's ever like pulled a camera out on me to get all Karen in my face, but I don't know. I struggle with it because I have used surveillance so many times to identify and eliminate suspects and get people their stuff back. And these databases from the Pawn database, the gang database, Palantir, and all of the stuff is like, it really can get bad guys off the street if the criminal justice system allows for that shit to come off the street. But if they're just throwing them back out there and all these cameras all over the place, and that's my problem with like the Ring doorbell and stuff, I don't know that I want to see a picture of the guy who broke into my house. I'd rather set a booby trap because the DNA is pretty much irrefutable.
In slow motion.
When you leave blood in my house, they're going to have an easier time finding you than just some dude with a hood on. So, I don't know that cameras are everything. So you have a camera of your ass getting beat. That doesn't take away the fact that your ass got beat. So they're not the answer to it. And in fact, a lot of statistics are saying that they're not really having that much of a deterrent on crime. You see a lot of these really brazen criminals flipping off cameras. I've done crime alerts from LAPD. Crime alert is basically a flyer. Like, have you seen this guy? Do you know this guy? For other detectives in the community to look at and be like, oh shit, that's so-and-so. Or like, oh, that's the guy on my case too. I got a picture of him with his car. I got a better picture of the tattoo. So we do share that information to be able to, stop him. But if you're just letting these people out, then there really isn't any point of just documenting the downfall of society.
Yeah.
And at what point, is this low trust society? Are we becoming even more low trust now that, I can't even buy a pack of batteries without 12 people with a set of keys and we'll walk it to the register for you. And like, all this stuff that has to happen. Like, that's why a lot of people are going shopping online because I can get
no accountability for the criminals. They know they can get away with it. So they're just going to keep escalating until there's either a hard line or just complete breakdown.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, what was it, like 2001 that the shoe bomber happened and we're still taking our shoes off the freaking airport?
Yeah. That was one incident. No one else has ever even tried it to mine.
Right. But you still like, oh my gosh, 3.4 ounces. And then all of a sudden it's totally like, you can't have any more liquid. No more liquid. Oh my God, that's so much hair gel. Like, just chill out. Like, we used to not care. You used to have like, and I was at the airport once and this lady got her like bottle of vitamins taken by TSA. This kid was probably like 18 years old and he was like stealing her contraband. She's like, those are my vitamins. He's like, you need a prescription. They're vitamins. Like, you don't need a prescription for vitamins. And, who knows, like, was the bottle too big? Were there different kinds of pills in one bottle? Like, perhaps there was something that set off his spidey senses, but it was just like, God, we're so low trust that this lady can't even bring vitamins on her fucking thing. You have to have things in the original container. Well, maybe like the old people have 700 bottles of bullshit. My mom has one of those like packs where like you open it every hour to take a fistful of something. And like, I can't imagine her having to bring all those bottles with her if she went someplace. But yeah, I mean, it's like with the doorbell cameras. I don't want to see who stole the package, but in fact, Matt just got a package stolen off of his porch the other day. And it made me think, like, I wonder how long it's going to be before we all have to just go drive our asses to a centralized hub, to go pick up packages that are being guarded by men with guns because assholes want to go grab my Walmart package to find out that they don't need the, extra filter for my bunny's water dish. They're going to take that shit home and be like, fuck it. And we all pay extra for everything because of crime. So, I don't know.
Well, it'd be nice if we were still a society that was, if you go back 100 years when everyone has a sword, and if you insult somebody, you have to fucking duel them to death. That's a pretty respectful society, I think.
I mean, I feel like if you steal my bunny water filters,
I'm gonna stab your ass.
I should just be able to decapitate you because that's
Get the battle axe off your back.
Right. She needs her fresh water. Anyway, so law-abiding people, which is the vast majority of us, we are all submitting to this bullshit, and it costs us time, and it costs us money, and it costs us a lot of aggravation or peace of mind that we're all being treated like criminals because some people aren't playing by the rules. There's always going to be people that don't play by the rules. So
we have way too many people not playing by the rules.
Yeah, it's true. But it's like, theft, vandalism, terrorism, violent crimes, whatever. Like, we all have to be under surveillance because of these a-holes.
Which, if surveillance is the point, then you see why they would let criminals out or why they would pay criminals to do these things to get more and more surveillance put in.
Yeah, and, I mean, you see a big shift with the in-person stores because places are like everything has to be under lock and key, especially in like shitty neighborhoods where you can't buy razors, laundry detergent, batteries, like the stuff that is targeted by organized theft rings to be sold at swap meets and shit. And so it's like it's easier just to go online and buy it from some like mega store. So now you're like putting these mom and pop businesses out of business. And then people complain about food deserts. And like, well, the food desert is because some of the people in your neighborhood are fucking assholes. And until you deal with that part of it, we're all paying with, money and time and our peace of mind and everything. Even like, I don't have a Costco card, but I've gone with people to Costco and they like have to check your receipt at the door.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, if I wanted to steal these shrimp, I would have stuck them in my pants before I like pushed this cart where I bought granola bars. I don't think it like prevents theft. I think it makes you just feel even more like if you're going to treat me like a thief, then I'm going to eat a couple grapes when I walk through the store before I even weigh them.
And that's like the store that has like you're already a member, so you're supposed to feel special and valued because not everybody gets in, but then you're just treated more like a criminal.
You're paying for the privilege of being treated like an asshole at the door. Yeah. Well, let me see if you paid for these ribs.
And if you don't stop at the door, they'll chase you outside and chase you out in the parking lot.
Will they?
I've seen that happen before.
We all need to just run.
Got to check that receipt.
Right. But I mean, this has been probably happening. Gosh, like when was the last time that you paid for your gas after you pumped it? Did you ever do that, Rod? Ben, you probably never did in your lifetime.
When I was first starting out driving, maybe.
I don't think I ever paid after, but I used to, when I was really a lot younger, I would always pay in cash. I'd go inside and I'd, give them $20 and I'd go out and I'd pump my gas. I didn't use credit cards back then.
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of like the beginning of it. There were so many people that, and when is that going to start happening at restaurants? Yeah, let me get that with the soup. Okay, that'll be such and such. Like, oh, I have to pay for it in advance. Yeah, there's too many dine and dashers.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that happening lately. I've been hearing stories about people going in, like a big group of them, and ordering like $150, $200 worth of food, and then they just get up and they all, like one by one, they just kind of sneak out and they take off on the tab. That's so messed up because the waitress and the waiter never.
Yeah, they
The
have to pay for
dishwasher,
that shit.
everybody loses on that.
What about hotels that have the intercontinental breakfast and they'll have people coming in off the street and acting like they're guests? They'll have their whole family there. They'll load up on breakfast and then split.
Well,
Nobody's
what
paying
about
for that?
when you check into a hotel, they take your credit card for incidentals because you can't be trusted. You might put your foot through the fucking wall. You might try to steal the robes. You might, try to take the mattress with you when you leave.
I'm gonna take that little bar of soap because that's mine now.
Like, I think they give you the soap, but spoiler alert, they also take the end of the little soap and they sell it back and they get re-put
Smush it
into
together.
new little wafers.
They only change the sheets once a year.
Black lights always. But yeah, even like the hotels don't trust you. They think you're gonna like drink everything from the mini bar and then not pay for it later. Rental
Watch all the
cars.
movies and not pay for them.
What kind of movies?
I don't know what kind of movies they might watch in there, but they don't want to pay
Some
for
kind
them.
of movie.
Pretend like I didn't watch
okay.
that.
I was like, I think everybody always prepays to go to the movies. You mean those movies?
Yeah, those movies.
Oh, I wouldn't know. But you rent a car, you've got to put down a deposit. You rent an apartment, and clearly you have to put down a deposit because we don't know if you're going to clean it. We don't know if you're going to. It's just everything. We're having to do credit checks for stupid shit and background checks to make sure you are who you say you are if you're trying to go get a job and like work for someplace.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
And
The background check I had to do
was crazy.
was crazy.
Did
Yeah.
they check your social media?
They didn't do that, thankfully, else I wouldn't be hired. But no, a lot of background check. Make sure I'm not like part of ISIS.
Even like the CAPTCHAs, so that you have to like prove that you're a
Oh, yeah.
human,
Yeah.
and the 2-factor authentication to prove all this stuff. It's like because they don't know if you're a bot and like how many motorcycles are in the picture. Like you guys have done these like so many times, and you're like, what is that picture even? I don't know. And
Speaking of bots, this is kind of off topic, but did you guys see the comments Elon made the other day about how in like 5 years, most of the internet traffic is going to be bots? Like it's going to be very little human activity at that point.
Are you saying that Ghost Pepper and Red Bike are
They're bots.
essentially?
They're bots.
I'm going to need you guys to get
Isn't it already kind of like that on X right now? Aren't there like tons of bots on there?
Yeah, I mean, it's what he was talking about was less like spam bots and more like bots for I don't know, running apps and running scripts and shit. Like more legitimate use of bots.
Yeah, I took some screenshots of it because it was funny, but I didn't bring them here because I didn't think we were going to talk about it. But I belong to a couple Facebook groups, and there are these like accounts. I won't say they're dudes, but there are these accounts that are just like tagging me all day long. Like, what the fuck is your problem, bro? Like, let me get you an application to be the president of my fan club. Like, what the hell? And so, like, is he a bot? Like, I don't know. Is he just a sad simp that says like on his profile, like, and I'm married to blah, blah, blah. And you go to blah, blah, blah's page and she doesn't claim him. So, he could just have a very sad life. But he's one of these like, actually, and it was over the whole Candace Owens thing. Maybe we'll get off this whole like flock camera thing for a bit because I do want to hear Rod's take on the debate today.
Now?
Right now.
Next week's fine. Anyway,
Did you watch it?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I thought his foot was going to fall off at one point because it's just doing this the whole time. Like, geez,
Yeah.
dude. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought she did a really good job. I thought she really shut him down, and he looked like a fool, especially at the end. He really looked stupid.
When he didn't know a single charge,
Right, not
that
one.
was so rough. And I didn't know who the hell he was. I had seen some of his stuff. I watched the Joe Rogan, and he was saying like, "Oh, all Candace has is like just theories. She doesn't have any evidence." Like, okay, well, there's this receipt and this photo and this evidence, and then these photos and this witness statement, and like that is called evidence. And it really seemed like he just had theories. And I mean, he didn't bring one thing. He was playing clips of Candace saying, like, what is this, a roast? Like, I thought we were here to discuss the case.
And I love how
That
she
was
had
real
she had to
good.
come back for every one of those, just shut him down on every one of those clips because they were all cherry picked and cut just perfectly to make it look like she was saying one thing, and she was like, "Actually, what I said was."
And she didn't do any of that shit to him. One, because he's a nobody in the whole sphere. So, like, has she ever watched a show? Probably not. I've never watched a show. I watched the Joe Rogan thing just to find out. Like, I'm interested in the case, and he says he's got the receipts. Let's see. Like, oh, he had nothing. That's disappointing. But then it just, I don't know. The body language of it was so great because he's totally fig leafing. So he's totally covering his dick like the whole time, and his legs are crossed, and that leg is just burning off so much anxiety. And then when PBD, is that his name? When he wasn't like simping for the guy, he would like fold his leg over the other way, like fuck you, like kind of a thing. And like Candace was just sort of like plain speaking with her hands, like not really ruffled by any of that. Of course, she is going to be more casual because it's her home turf. She's literally sitting in her own chair, so she's not going to be nervous. But I was really hoping for, I mean, I'm so open to whatever evidence. Like if you have evidence, like it's for sure, this gun, or it was for sure on the Losi Center, or it's for sure this, or like, here's the 4K video, like fucking bring it. But it wasn't broughted.
Right.
And that was a bummer because we all watched it hoping for something good to come out of it, and like nothing good came of it. A little tiny fish came to a big fucking pond and said, I got the shit, and then he didn't have any shit, and it was just like stealing her spotlight for a few minutes.
He said at the beginning, he said, "I'm bringing the receipts," or something like that. It's like, all right, so he must have something, and he just had nothing. Then at the end, he claimed that she had nothing, and all she did was drop facts the entire fucking time.
And he would not. He was so upset about that receipt. He was like, well, we don't really know. How do you know? Like, well, I spoke to the owner. Do you have a copy of the receipt? Like, first of all, I am not the prosecuting attorney. So let's start there. And like the fact that this receipt potentially exists, it's not concerning to you that they're not getting the original receipt in hand. Like, if this evidence exists, do you just want to go, la, 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 well, they didn't bring it up, so it doesn't exist, and there's no way he was at the steakhouse? Like, but if he was, that could mean everything. Yeah, I don't know. I felt bad for the guy because he was very in over his head.
Yeah.
And his face looked so, like, tired, and his eyes looked like just, like, he was just going to fall down. I don't know. He probably was cramming for days. Maybe he always looks like that, but he didn't look well, and I felt bad. In fact, I'm in one group, and this lady was like, I don't care if he has a stroke and dies right there. Like, I wouldn't even flinch. Like, okay, well, listen, there's a lot of retarded people out there. I'm not saying I'm not one of them, but instead of wishing death, how about we all wish that we all are on the same page, that we all get the same information? If he's got great 4K video, if this 4K video exists, like, why are you keeping it from us and then calling us ignorant? Like, if you're keeping us ignorant, then like, what's going on? Why? But yeah, I don't know, that like nothing really came of it. The one thing I really didn't like, I think the thing I didn't like the most is like all this money. Did they say that this money was going to go to a charity or going to go to Charlie's Kids or anything?
I don't remember them saying anything. I think they mentioned the money right at the very beginning, just very briefly, just mentioned it, and then that was it. I don't know where that money's going.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Charlie's Kids are millionaires. But it is kind of weird that they turn this into a big. Oh, hey, CJ. Sorry I was late watching Candace debate. Oh, well, we're just talking about it now, but you're probably far behind. So what did you think? If you are live with us right now, you might be watching the earlier part of the show. Yeah, I think that was like, for me, it was really distasteful. But I think like she's also sold some stuff in her merch store that I thought was distasteful too. But, you know, I don't slurp anybody's goo wholesale. So, I don't know. But, yeah. So, well, a lot of these police agencies are going away from the flock cameras now. And I hate to say it, but I feel like it's sort of like the defunding the police thing. Is like you're going to see a surge of bullshit. When the cat's away, the mice will play. So we'll see what happens with the crime statistics now. And honestly, I mean, those statistics are so easily manipulated anyway.
Yeah.
So are they going to now take more reports that they had been hiding under the rug just to show you, we should have always had this surveillance? Totally possible. So if the crime surge starts, it doesn't mean that crime actually surged. It just means the statistics surged, and that's not the same thing. So
Well, yeah, you could say the same thing. Like if you had more cameras and say, there's more crime. Well, you're videotaping more crime is all.
Yeah, I mean, certainly with like the advent of the internet. I mean, I moved to the Midwest and people are like, oh my God, California, aren't you afraid of the shark attacks? Like, I've never seen a shark attack like outside an aquarium, like, or not a shark attack, but a shark. I've never seen a shark ever, like in the wild, like a wild shark.
You don't surf every single day.
You have to actually go in the ocean for that. I don't do that.
Right.
So.
You have any idea how much like human feces is like floating right on the shoreline? Why would it want to swim close to us? We're disgusting. But
gross.
Yeah, so I think, you know, with the news stories, they talk about shark attacks or they talk about, you know, whatever the story du jour is. It's going to make people pay a lot more attention to it. So who knows? But I wish that we could trust it. I think this whole show just boils down to like, this is all just a tax on humanity for living in a low trust society. And like, what happens when we're all kind of just gypsies? Not to say anything bad about gypsies. My dad was some kind of Romanian something or other, going back in our lineage. But I worked Hollywood division and we had a whole gypsy population. In fact, there was this one arrest. They both went for domestic abuse. They both kicked shit at each other. And as we're trying to book them into custody, this is a married couple and they don't know their own names and they don't know their spouse's name. But that is like the gypsy like society. I can't think of the word. That's just part of their culture. Is like, what's my name? It depends on who asks. Like, well, there's some things that's the fact and it's not movable. But like we're seeing with this like Candace thing, and we're seeing with the flock cameras and like stuff is like facts are now transitory. Are you a girl or a boy? Well, it depends who asks, because sometimes I'm a Z and sometimes I'm a Zer. Like, this is like, it's all kind of one thing. We can boil down a lot of these problems to like one problem, is that we're not honoring reality anymore. And I don't think that's an AI problem. In fact, I showed my mom this video. It's like, you know, when you have to tell your mom that it was an AI video that she sends you, because like there was like a dog riding a tricycle with all these like cops behind it trying to pull it over, and it was like, oh God, I gotta go, and it's like a dog on a trike. And the mom's like, is that AI? And my mom like messaged me back and she was like, well, was it? Like, I know you're kidding, but like some people aren't. That's really concerning. So.
Well, what do you guys think about it if it was like all the surveillance was just solely by AI and not humans? Would that make it any different?
I mean,
Supposing that the AI was not like programmed to be Skynet trying to kill humanity.
right. That's exactly the thing. Is like it's only as unbiased as the programming. Understand, like we all suffered through this crazy censorship where you weren't allowed to talk about ivermectin, or you weren't allowed to like repost a certain image because it could tell the pixels. But yet none of these social media apps can take child content off, or some of the really egregious things that get posted. And I still have open reports to Facebook for just absolute abject pornography, child content, and they haven't even looked at them yet. And like AI could just bust through those. I mean, AI made this thumbnail with one single prompt. And so it's just
burn 50,000 gallons of water.
But it doesn't. And like I'm sick of pretending that it does. And
only 45,000.
Yeah, no, it's a 15.
The problem with the AI doing the checking is one of the big problems on YouTube right now is they have AI checking out people's channels and deciding that your channel is not worthy, and people are getting demonetized and deplatformed because AI said so. And then you have no recourse because you can't talk to YouTube. You can't get a hold of them. AI said you're no good, so that's it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't like AI monitoring anything.
Right. I mean, yeah, the same thing happens with Facebook, is that you can get a hit for talking about drugs, but maybe you were talking about a sobriety program, and like, no, you're getting hit for drugs. Like, the context is like, it's more, and the computer doesn't really understand context. And until that grows up or evolves, I don't know what you do with that we're getting
I think
new.
that's the point. Is like, we can't use it as it is because it is in its infancy. It's basically retarded. But if it ever did achieve like actual sentience, where you could kind of like get concepts through to it, maybe that would be a better solution.
Right.
We're not there yet, obviously. So
no, it's got a long way. In fact, I called the fire department's copy machine took a shit, and so I called our thing. You got to go through some automated system and press this and press that, and then I put in the number of the copy machine, like the serial. And did you mean some other fucking thing? No, I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Say yes if yes. Say no. No. I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Like, it can't be any more fucking obvious. It's a single syllable. Like, fuck. And so it took me like 4 calls to get through the gauntlet to try to get like, okay, now I can be on hold for 25 minutes before somebody picks up and tells me that his name is Kevin when it fucking ain't Kevin, and like can't understand him. And I'm like, look, your system sucks.
Yeah, I usually just end up yelling, operator.
It wouldn't work. Nothing worked. Customer service, help, fuck you. Like, none of it. I'm sorry, I don't understand you. And then it would hang up, and I got to start all over again.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like part of like that spaghetti thing. It's like it is getting better, but it's like not quite there. And
yeah, that's a good point.
Truthfully,
that's just graphics.
If it's not beneficial to the company to spend a lot of money on a new system that understands the word no when it's asking me to say yes or no, and it doesn't understand no, like if it's not beneficial to them because we're paying $1,200 a year for a contract to get our shit fixed, but if they pick up the phone, that means somebody actually has to come over and fix it. Maybe we can stall them for a couple of days by having this shitty system, or whatever. I'm not saying everything is a conspiracy against us or everything is for profit, but a lot of it is meant to delay and deny and dissuade, and certainly the insurance company is that way. Making this gauntlet, if that ticket that I got from Florida, if I didn't have access to law enforcement databases, like, what do you do? Like, I don't want a warrant for my arrest, like in California, because it thinks it's me. You can't talk to a human on the phone. There's nobody with any kind of ability to have objective reason to pick up the phone and go, oh yeah, I see that. Oh yeah, and send me a picture of your car. Oh, for sure. Okay, let me just erase that for you. It just doesn't exist. So I don't know. When with the flock cameras, if you get your car stolen, of course you're going to want it back. If your kid gets kidnapped, of course you're going to want to be able to track where that goes. But I think the problem is that, one, we're just becoming criminal assholes. So now if I steal a car and then I rip the license plate off of it, I'm good to go. But like, you can't go 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, or we're going to just mail you a ticket. And I think that's part of the big problem, is we're only harassing and cashing in on the law-abiding citizens and not going after the actual criminals that are fucking it up for all of us. And I'm kind of glad that I'm not a cop anymore.
Seems like it'd be a lot more difficult now.
Yeah, because
a lot more red tape and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I used to tell my victims, like, I am law enforcement, not common sense enforcement. If this was, vigilante justice, we'd have a different story. But here's what I can do for you. So I think, doing shows like this, getting some solidarity, getting a 30,000-foot view of these like things that they want us to be so angry about, and also just understanding like, hey, a lot of shit slipped through the cracks that we might need to revisit, because like flock cameras aren't the hill to die on. It happened a while ago.
Yeah.
So what are you guys up to this weekend?
I'm going to my mom's tomorrow for my brother's birthday. And then Sunday, I don't know, hanging around.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of that lady when she says hanging around, getting fat and eating bread and soup.
Getting all fat and sassy.
Tomorrow I'm going to the biggest cement statue store in all of Michigan. I'm so excited.
In all of Michigan.
I don't know that I need anything, but I need some
You're
stuff.
coming on with something.
I fucking am. You know it. I already went to the ATM and pulled out some cash. But we'll see. I really, I'm trying to get the yard to be really cool, to match the interior going on in here. And although you see none of it.
You're just in a void.
I am in the darkness. See? A bearskin rug. You just need my white ass to get out of the frame. And then what else do I have going on? I won't be able to tell. I'll let him tell that story if he wants to. I'm going somewhere with Chris on Sunday, and then he's got to help me. I have a fucking raccoon that probably weighs 9,000 pounds by the sound of it, and it's trying to get on my fucking roof every night, and it's trying to get in.
Raccoon.
So I'm trying to figure out some options. I think I just want to put flashing all over the roof, so it's just like a big slide and the thing just can't get on the roof. I don't want to cut all the trees away for 12 miles of my house so that it can't get on the roof anymore. And they can jump 10 feet, and that's a lot of trees to take down. And I don't want to do that. So I've got...
What if you tasered a raccoon?
I think, one, they have really thick fur. And so just thinking about humans, if you've got a winter coat on, good luck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't want it to hurt the raccoon. I just want it to fuck off. So I'm kind of getting, what was the name of the kid? Kevin from Home Alone?
I was just thinking of that. What if you put bacon grease all over your roof so he gets up there and he's
I do love a good booby trap. So
fucking paint cans swinging down.
Yeah. Ben and I were coming up with some diabolical and hysterical plans against the raccoons. I won't say anything in case they're listening, but I got plans. And so I'm going to be doing that this weekend. But nature, it's be careful what you wish for. And when I was in California, I wanted to just immerse my face in fucking nature. And now I'm get out of my house. Bats, raccoons, ants, bullshit. I'm over it.
I stepped on an anthill today and got bitten. for like the first time in probably 30 years. Just
Regular ants?
They were little tiny ants, and it stung. Like, it really stung. So I'm probably going to lose my leg now, I think. So I'll let you guys know when I'm an amputee next week.
Oh, good news for the kids out there following my life's failure. The bat that we caught and cut the head off of tested negative for rabies, so I will live another day.
No Old Yeller for you.
Nope, no frothing at the mouth for me. Well, thanks for pitch hitting, Rod. I was really sad that Rosie had to go cut down some flock cameras. I know would have gotten some real anti-government tidbits from her, so hopefully she can come on another time. But you're always a delight. And so thank you, my friend. And Ben for scrambling home after a hard day at the coal mines. Appreciate it very mucho.
You're very welcome.
All right, well, I guess that's fucking it for me. I have some shows coming out, but like so many people flake, I don't even want to tell you what the hell's gonna go on tomorrow, or next week. I don't know. Maybe I'll just show pictures of my asshole.
Are you gonna have the raccoon on? Is that an option?
If I can teach the raccoon how to talk, then that's possible. Yeah.
That'd be a good show.
I don't think. Let me go here. There is a whole scratch off thing on Pilled, but I don't think that's going to do anything right now. I don't know. I'm not sure. So we will end the stream. Oh, comments. Fuck, Pammy. I didn't see any of Pammy's comments, so let me just catch up with Pammy. I wasn't in the comment section over there. Hey, y'all. Happy late birthday, Molly. Oh, thank you. Did you see my werewolf that I got? It's pretty cool. Have you ever been to Wunderkammer in California? They've got some pretty cool, ghoulish, punky, old school stuff. Look up the YouTube channel, Nick Massacre. He has a video from there. Ooh, that sounds exciting. I'll have to save that. And those cameras are even overlooking children's schools. Yeah, but I lived in Koreatown in LA, and they built a child school right across from a Marcy's Law, like mega place with 10 child molesters, and built the playground right across the street from them.
Oh, good job.
So nobody really cares about the kids, and I don't understand why. Oh, Chris Leland. Axio is behind the flock camera hysteria. How long have we had traffic light cameras? Yeah, I mean, that really does get into the Fourth Amendment because, you know, how do you send me a ticket in the mail if it's just my license plate? People steal license plates. Like, I feel like you should have to have a higher standard of proof than to just mail. And I know Arizona had won that initially, saying, like, if a cop doesn't stop you, you're not allowed to give a ticket. And then he was frustrated in his crazy wife defending him in the debate. He heavily relies on her. So I assume you're talking about the Andrew guy. Yeah, he didn't do so well. I was hoping for more of a bloodbath. I don't typically watch snuff films. I did make an exception today, and it did not disappoint. He was just annihilated. I want to speak with a human is what I yell. And does that work for you, Pammy? What do you think about ICE's new electric shock gloves? Yeah, have you seen these? It's like a taser, but in gloves. I just feel like it's just a really ineffective weapon, control device, whatever you're going to call it. I imagine you've got 2 electrodes. I imagine you're going to have people that are wrestling. I mean, I've been involved in some Donnybrooks, and you know, it's common that we pepper spray each other and tase each other during these. And the gloves, like, you don't know what you're grabbing. And then you've got to, like, you're holding one arm, but you got to take the glove off because now it's shocking you.
Well, is it one of those things where you got to grab with both hands so the current can travel through, or can you just get them with one hand?
But yes and no, because
it was 2 hands, I think.
When you are dogpiling somebody, we're all connected. And it's like, now that I'm a firefighter and we do all the CPR shit, when you practice the defibrillator, like, everybody get the fuck away from the patient. We don't all need to get zapped here. So, although if you're getting tased, it goes between the 2 prongs. So if you're getting tased from your leg to your ankle and you've got people holding your hands behind your back, they're not going to get tased until they are somewhere between your hip and your ankle or wherever it is. So I don't know. I feel like ICE has a pretty bad rap. And now with these like gloves, these electricity gloves, it's not really a good look. That's not exactly the kinder, gentler that I think the gloves have to be turned on by phone.
Oh, that's going to work well.
I mean,
Hold on, just let me
gardens
log
with
into my...
gloves on all day. Like I can't swipe on my phone. I can't answer a call. Like, so.
Wipe left for electric.
So when the bad guy
right,
sees you pulling out your gloves and putting them on, he's gonna be like, "Time to go."
Well, that is actually a tactic that street officers do use. All right, hey, they called on you. You got to get away from the door, man. Like you can't be panhandling in front of the door. Like they want to arrest you, but we'll let you go. Just like you got to leave. Like, no, man, fuck you. I'm gonna stay here. Blah blah blah. All right. And so then you go and you start putting on the gloves and all right, I'm out of here. Fuck you. Like they know you're about to go hands on. So like we have reused the same gloves to get people's minds right, like all fucking day long. And then eventually you use them on something disgusting and you throw them away. And by disgusting, usually a criminal. So yeah, I mean, if somebody gets out and they're wearing the gloves, I don't know why people run anyway, but I could tell you firsthand, you could stand me up and hit me in the stomach with shotgun pellets. Don't tase me, bro. It's the worst. And I want to like show you my toes right now, but like you can't see that there's like nerves that don't work anymore. But I assure you, I could probably stick it with a pin. Like there are nerves that still don't work. I mean, now that was only 18 years ago. So any day now. But thanks, Pammy. I'm sorry that I missed all your comments the whole time. As always, guys, you can get a hold of me at mollysleuth@gmail.com. And or here, Fridays, wherever you're seeing this. Oh, thanks, Ben.
Too slow. Just too slow.
You were a little slow today. All right, guys. Love you. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Ben. Talk to you.